Yes, good day and welcome to the conversation coming to you from TV 360 here in Lagos, Nigeria. My name is Nelson Ekujumi and I have here with me in the studio Comrade Murphy Abadoni. Comrade Murphy, good day and welcome to the program.
Thank you. It's my pleasure being here.
Yeah, we want to look at this issue of Senator Ningi's allegations, which has ended him a suspension for 3 months by the Senate. You recollect that about 3 days ago, Senator Ningi granted an interview on BBC Hausa Service where he alleged that about 3.7 trillion naira of the 2024 budget was unaccounted for, that it had no location, no item, and what have you. He also alleged that the budget was meant to disadvantage the North vis-a-vis the other part of Nigeria. He also alleged that 3.7 trillion was padded, that the government of the day was operating 2 budgets. And swiftly, the presidency responded and, chronicled how President Bola Ahmed Tinubu presented a budget of 27 trillion to the National Assembly, and the National Assembly, in appropriating that bill, increased that budgetary allocation to 28.7 trillion, which was passed by the National Assembly, and Mr. President assented to the bill to become a law. Senator Ningi spoke then in that interview as the chairman of the Northern Senators Forum. Swiftly, 3 members of that forum came out and they distanced the Northern Senators Forum from his allegation, only for Senator Ningi to now recant and say, oh, he didn't say the budget was padded. And even when he came to the House, when he was being grilled for that unparliamentary statement he made on that program, he also recanted that he never said the budget was meant to disadvantage the North. And for me, watching the session of the National Assembly on TV, I was very happy that his colleagues were able to educate him that some of those allocations of the budget are not allocations that you can find the details, like he wanted it to be put out there for him. Like the chairman of that committee, Senator Yayi, made reference to the allocation to the National Assembly, the allocation to the judiciary, as well as the allocations to INEC. And they now made him realize that budgetary allocations are done sectorally. That there's no sector that you say this one is North or this one is South. The budget is for education. We have schools in the North, we have schools in the South. The budget is for health. You have hospitals, you have doctors, you have nurses everywhere. So, in fact, I was happy that somebody who was formerly in Senator Ningi's shoes of stoking the embers of division, Senator Alin Dume, also took the pains to say, when he brought up that issue with him, he educated him that what he expected Ningi to do on the floor of that house yesterday was to apologize that, oh, I misinformed, I'm sorry. And the Senate now, because of his conduct, the Senate suspended him for 3 months. For me, these reckless statements, divisive statements by persons who occupy positions or status of authority has become, worrisome for me. Is it that we need, or is it that the institutions of state saddled with the responsibility of educating, informing, and sensitizing this category of persons are not doing their job? Because if that statement by Senator Abdul Ningi had been made by somebody who was in the market, one would have just dismissed it with a wave of hand that it does not matter. He's speaking from the position of ignorance. But for you to be, and Senator Abdul Ningi is a high-ranking senator. I hope you also remember the former CBN deputy governor, Mr. Obadiah Maleifa, who said a governor of one of the states in the north was sponsoring Boko Haram. And when the DSS picked him up to substantiate that allegation, the late CBN deputy director, or deputy governor,
yeah,
now said he heard that statement in the market. So you can imagine. You hear something in the market, and with your office, with your status, you come and say it on public space. So what does it tell us about people who are opportune to be up there?
Well, if you remember, I think it was last week.
Yeah.
We're in a program somewhere.
Yeah.
And we also discussed these issues of public officers being reckless with their statement. Then we're talking about the sitting Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, over a reckless statement too. And that particular day, I was of the view too, and the opinion that once you occupy certain
office
categories of office, you must be cautious of what you say, because people see whatever word that comes from you as authority.
Absolutely.
And they see it as official.
No, that is natural.
So for a senator to just rise up and begin to indict even the executive arm of government, because by virtue of that statement, you have indicted the president.
Absolutely.
And even when you don't have the facts.
The facts, yes, that's it.
So I don't know how else we're going to train men that are above 50s and 60s.
No, they're still trainable.
Men who ordinarily should be training others. Men who ordinarily we should be looking up to. So I think it's unfortunate, and it boils down to the fact that some of these persons who find themselves into the Nigerian politics and eventually find themselves into the corridors of power, if what is being equal, should not even be there. For a country that has over 2 million people with intellectuals left, right, and center, we shouldn't have these categories of people ruling us.
Well, that is the beauty. Murphy, that is the beauty of democracy.
Yes, the beauty of democracy, I agree, but democracy didn't say we must have the worst ruling the best. Well, so what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that we need to learn. Other senators must learn. It's not just enough. You know, politicians are fond of saying whatever they like just to please the public. A lot of them have done it in the past and they've gone scot-free with it. But it's not the best. Times have changed.
But you know,
times have changed. People will hold you accountable these days with what you say.
Murphy, you know, the sad thing for me is that we live in a generation today where somebody makes a statement, and instead of me to fact check that what this man has said, is it true, I will run with it. I will start sharing it.
Yes.
And when
we even live in a society where people don't differentiate between facts and opinion.
People don't read. That is the problem. And that is where, even for some of us, we want to hold the state responsible. That our investment in education is not enough.
It's not enough.
It's not enough,
yes.
Because if you have a well-educated...
I want to see that state and that state governor that will declare emergency on education.
Absolutely.
Forget the higher institutions.
Because
if you miss it at the stage of primary and secondary education, you have missed it.
That's the foundation.
Forget the university.
If you don't have a school cert from the secondary, how will you get into the university?
And I keep saying, once you have a standard primary and secondary school education, you are good to go.
You are good to go. You can go anywhere.
You can express yourself anywhere. Yes. You can do anything.
So for me, I think the Senate has done the needful, and by suspending him, and I hope Nigerians also are taking notes, because we have had this. You remember, just before this, there was this.
You know. Sorry to chip in. Because people are used to hearing of budget padding. Yes, we agree. They've padded budgets in the past. I agree, but that is not enough. Yes. For you to play on the psyche of the people.
On the intelligence, yes.
To just say, they've padded this budget, and you think that the people will just
Will just
clap
run
for you
with
and
you,
say, ah, you are an honest senator, you are
and,
no.
and for me, when he was being interviewed and he was sticking to that his line of argument before his bubble was busted, I expected those asking him to say, please, honorable distinguished senator, can you provide us evidence of this thing you are saying?
And
you can't just be
and
speaking
you
to
be
the
a
air.
hero for that.
Yes.
Provide the evidence.
Only for you to get.
And once you provide the evidence, Nigerians like us will even take up the
we'll
fight.
We'll take up the fight.
Well,
Yes,
you can't just
come and make
issue
reckless
statements
statements. You want to
it's
divide
not
the country
done.
along
It's not
ethnic
done.
lines.
If we
No,
want to grow, it's
it
not
is
done.
unacceptable. It must be. Senator Abdul Ningi, despite the fact that his colleagues have come out to condemn him, as a Nigerian, I also condemn him in its totality. That what he did was very, very unparliamentary of his status.
Yes, I agree with
and
you.
I commend the Senate for suspending him. I hope this will serve as a lesson, not only to Senator Abdul Ningi, other senators are there.
Yeah, and
House of Representatives members are there.
Other public officials,
Even governors, some governors
yes,
make reckless statements.
Yes.
You know. So I think this is the right way to go. Our democracy is work in progress, and we just hope that as the days go by, Nigerians will continue to keep themselves abreast and be able to separate the wheat from the shaft, so that they are not led by the nose, they are not misled, they are not incited, they are not they are not motivated to go and do what is not supposed to be. Well, this is where I want to call it a wrap on this stanza of the program. We'll be right back. Please continue to watch the conversation on TV 360. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned.